Thanks for joining me. I would like to read to you what my journey has been as I have discovered what geoengineering is really about. For a decade, I've been rummaging in the geoengineering rabbit hole for what is missing from the story being told to the public. You know, the one about carbons causing global warming, climate change, extreme weather, etc. I began by writing Chemtrails, HAARP, and the full spectrum dominance of planet Earth in 2014. I concentrated on how weather engineering is accomplished with chemicals and microwaves, from moving weather to building storms and diverting moisture to hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, and tidal waves, and how the chemical trails being spewed by jets and rockets feed into the system while keeping the atmosphere electrified with ions. For the 20-plus years that geoengineering has been operant in our atmosphere, you have been told that chemtrails are a conspiracy theory, despite the fact that the term chemtrails came from the U.S. Air Force Academy Chemistry 101 Manual for future pilots. You probably assumed that the rumor about the internet being untrustworthy because of all the crazy stuff on it included uncomfortable facts about the environment from scientist and non-scientist observers, like how the skies are incubated in a man-made cloud cover from jet trails that in no way behave like condensation trails. But until you take a walk in a forest far from any industrial area and see for yourself that trees are dying, you probably discount the many internet lab reports proving that the soil is loaded with thousands of times more aluminum than it should be. Where's the aluminum coming from? From jet and rocket trails. When independent, non-corporate scientists like Clifford Carnicom, Francis Mangle, Alan Buckman, and Marvin Herndon attempt to go public with what they have collected, measured, and analyzed from precipitation, soil, aerosol filters, and hair and skin samples, they are ignored by controlled media, blocked from publishing their papers, marginalized, discredited, and otherwise silenced, while being subjected to additional surveillance. After 2 decades of operation, at the beginning of the Trump presidency, in fact, geoengineering began being normalized, at least the solar radiation management aspect of it, in the name of course, combating climate change. The truth is that the climate change being undergone by planet Earth is created by geoengineers in service to UN globalization agendas that the American military-industrial intelligence complex and its worldwide presence also serve. I describe how this is done in my 2018 book, Under an Ionized Sky, From Chemtrails to Space Fence Lockdown. Until you understand the details, think of the space fence lockdown as a smart grid lockdown, given that the environment has been basically weaponized by chemistry, nanotechnology, and electromagnetics. Similar to the Matrix film trilogy, we are plugged into a web-like neural mesh matrix, whether we live in a smart city, on an island, or in a rural area. Geoengineering extends far beyond weather engineering and jet fuel pollution. In 2005, Clifford Carnicom laid out 7 major operations that space fence geoengineering is involved in, from above the planet, in the stratosphere and ionosphere, to our atmosphere, in the troposphere, and the natural world, the ground under our feet, and inside our bodies and brains, the entire environment. These 7 operations are: 1. Weather engineering, 2. Chemical electromagnetic operations, 3. Planetary geophysical operations, 4. Directed energy weapon operations, 5. Surveillance neural operations, 6. Digital biology transhumanism operations, and 7. Detection obscuration of exotic propulsion technology. These operations all share chemicals, nanotechnology, and wireless electromagnetism. We all probably know at least a little about chemistry and electromagnetism, but hardly anyone knows much about the new nanotechnology that since 1990 has become ubiquitous in our packaged and GMO foods, in our new clothes, our cars and medicines, even in our lungs, blood, and brain. Given that we are breathing in what is being delivered daily in the upper atmosphere to make sure all geoengineered operations run smoothly in our perpetually ionized or electrified atmosphere. That these chemical electromagnetic nano operations interfere with animal, plant, and human species is, for the military industrial intelligence mind, neither here nor there. Whether these minds are engaged in corporate culture or the secret space program that investment analyst Catherine Austin Fitts researched, geoengineering marches on under a cover of lies. Now cometh 5G and the Internet of Things, which will also depend upon chemistry, electromagnetics, and nanotechnology for its smart city lockstep en route to a transhumanist virtual reality. To my mind, 5G is the linchpin for the operation of the chemistry nanotechnology infrastructure of human environments. Here is a paragraph from my 3rd book on geoengineering, the book that will tie synthetic biology and transhumanism to what my previous 2 books covered. 5G has been sold as a magical solution to improved coverage, enhanced signaling, reduced latency, spectral efficiency, wireless sensor connectivity, 1 gigabyte per second simultaneity, 100 megagigs per second data rates, etc. What it is really is a profitable, classic bait and switch for smart city lockdown. The bait being super fast connectivity, the switch being Internet of Things lockdown by means of the phased array antenna weapon, which the Washington Post described as smaller and lower powered, but clustered together and lowered to the ground. John Rappaport broached what I had been wondering about 5G as I read how tiny transmitters would be placed every 6 houses. From John Rappaport's article, 5G Wireless, A Ridiculous Front for Global Control, April 3, 2018. Where will all the transmitter cells be placed on the ground and in the air? Something is missing here. Is there another version of 5G we're not being told about? Is geoengineering of the atmosphere the means for tuning up space so 5G signals can be passed along without cells and transmitters? End of quote. I saw a YouTube of someone savvy to electronics who actually took a 4G iPhone apart and found in it a tiny phased array antenna. While contemplating the beam steering capability of 5G, I learned that previous DARPA radio frequency engineer Carly LeBrun had suffered a weird traffic accident and died. I pulled out her Facebook comment and gave it another read. Google IOBNT, Internet of Bio-Nano Things. This is IOBNT communicates externally, transmits and receives in bio-cybersphere with the towers and other means. This is what the 5G is for. 5G equals 4G plus a new band of 86 gigahertz band. 96 gigahertz is a microwave weapon. I've built several for Northrop and Raytheon. 96 gigahertz will fry your skin and organs. So 86 gigahertz is way too close. That's 5G in a nutshell. End of the quote by Carly. When Carly talks about the Internet of Bio-Nano Things, she is referencing the nanotechnology we are breathing in daily. The nanobots swimming in our blood and waiting in our brains for their remote wireless instructions from their AI algorithm masters. Are we getting the picture of how plugged into our enhanced wireless chemical environment we really are? One final question lies with the recent coronavirus outbreak in Wuhan, China. Is it simply coincidental that Wuhan was one of 5 Chinese cities recently wired for 5G? And that the 4 other cities also had outbreaks? Is 5G, after all, a spectacular superconductor of disease frequencies? I appeal to everyone to pay close attention to events, especially the details, as that is where the devil hides. We are all in this together.